All right, so it's been a little while since this type of content has been popping up on my feed because all kinds of other stuff has been popping up on my feed lately. But for a while, especially when I was at work, stuff was popping up like for like dating, right? And it was sort of like the arguments that men and women have for like not wanting to date anymore or whatever. But I just noticed that a lot of the stuff was speculation. I mean, it was based on someone's limited experience, and when I say limited, I don't care if you dated 1,000 men. Like, you can't speak for all men, so that's what I mean by limited. So I recognize that, even though people made good points. And but the thing also was that a lot of things that were said, men would say, when a woman does this, it's this, and all, and a lot of times that was not true. It's not true for me, so if it's not true for me, it's not true for everybody. So some of it was a little insulting, I guess. Sorry. I understand why people feel the way they do about dating right now, but I think mostly it's because they've dropped a lot of traditions and things that people used to do, through the idea of courtship. And I think that they're suffering the consequences of that. They don't realize it because they didn't do it the other way. It wasn't impressed upon them that they should do it another way. So what I wanted to do here was pull the energies of the male and female dating energy. Like, let's do what we've been doing. So we would do like one side up here and then one side down here and then the energy that's in the middle. So I was going to have the energy on the top be the female energy only because I kind of feel like to a certain extent, I don't know, the best way I can put it is that I feel like to a certain extent, women like encouraged men to approach, and then to a certain extent women discouraged men to approach, and then women kind of were like, well, hey, why aren't you approaching? And men were kind of like, because we're tired of you. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% correct, but and of course this could be flipped. This is really like not wanting to get out because already but so I was going to have this be the female dating energy, and then the one on the bottom would be the male dating energy, and then we're going to pull that middle row and we'll talk about it. And we'll probably pull some extra cards, but hopefully we'll just get some extra cards, and that will help figure that out. So we have that female energy. We have that devil in reverse upside down. We'll see if it comes out again. Another reason why I like to use, I'm like appreciating the fact that I'm using this particular mixed deck right now is because as I pull these two rows, they have the opportunity to mirror each other. So we'll have the opportunity to, have energies say that they want the same things for 5, 6, 7. We got one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. Yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna say, you know what? I've been playing with these cards for a while. This is a lot of cards. Let's see what we got here. We got. Oh man, looks like the men know something. Let me see. What is that? Huh. All right. Oh, what is that? Page of Wands in reverse. Oh, shit. All right, man. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Do not come after me. All right, so we have this devil in reverse. We got the 2 wands in reverse. We got the 6 of cups in reverse. We got the ace of pentacles. Ace of pentacles in reverse. 5 of pentacles in reverse. Page of wands in reverse. And then the sun upright. Now listen, again, ladies, before you come for me. Your row only has 2 upright cards. One of them is wanting to be happy, and the other one is soulmate. So not a lot going for you right now in this argument, but we're going to get back to that. Now, for the men's side, we got the 6 of Swords. We've got the High Priestess. We have the Tower in reverse. We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to keep saying it during this reading. Ace of Swords, upright. The Fool upright. And then the King of Wands. All right, and then for extra cards, we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, the 6 of Cups is matched in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups upright, the 7 of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles upright. Okay. All right. Well, the only reason why I'm uncomfortable right now is because I'm picking up a lot of the male complaints without picking up a lot of the female complaints yet. So I'm going to acknowledge that right now. And it's making me want... I'm wondering if I should read this one differently. Oh my God. Well, we did want to know how the dating energies were. So I guess to a certain extent, I wasn't really comprehending the fact that the male energy was going to tell us what they thought of the female energy, and the female energy was going to tell us what they thought of the male energy. But I hear just like really loud, like male energy on the table. Let's talk about this. Sucks. This is like... I feel like they're going to send the villagers after me. What do we got? We go. Okay. All right. What are we into right now? All right. When I do this, the message just comes out slower. So let's do it. All right. So when I first saw this Devil in reverse on the female energy side, it didn't look bad to me. In fact, I was trying to see if it just meant like Capricorn, right? I do think to a certain extent this is like the female energy not being mindful. Here, let me put these cards down. This Queen of Pentacles in reverse and this Devil in reverse. I think that it's a possibility that when we are mindful, like let's say when we're dating, we're mindful about the wrong things. Even if we're in love, nobody's judging or faulting. But let's say, like, let's use an example, like the more in love we are, the more makeup we put on, which isn't true, but, you know, we might take longer to put on our makeup, or we might do something extra with our hair, like, you know, we might. I'm just saying, I'm trying to use that as an example. So, if we're spending more time looking a certain way because we feel a certain way, then if we're not expressing the way we feel, then it might not be helpful. So to me, this is like kind of like presenting one way, but then like truly showing up as another. And I think to a certain extent it can be forgiven. Like, let's say when you're dating someone and then you wear makeup all the time because you go out all the time, and then later on, you know, you have a child or something, and then you don't really put on makeup anymore, or you just don't, whatever. Let's say you all of a sudden you're allergic to makeup, your skin did a thing after pregnancy and you can't wear it. You know, this is not 100% like that. This is kind of more like when you were wearing it, like you showed a different side of yourself than like when you weren't wearing it. I sort of know what that means. See, at first I got this like distracted energy, right? And by the way, this 8 of Swords upright is supposed to be on top of this Devil in reverse and this 6 of Swords. But I feel like the 6 of Swords What's in between? So that Seven of Swords card, what is it? Oh. Oh, I feel like the male energy feels like they have to tread lightly between, I was going to say the mood swings. Don't come for the messenger. That's not what they mean. They just mean the different energy, the thing that I was talking about, the presenting one way and then being another. They feel like they're always walking on eggshells, like they're going back, they're going from wanting to walk away to being kind of tied up there, and the energy that's in the middle is betrayal. And I think that's them. Where is it? No, that's the Seven of Wands. I think they're afraid that the consequences of their wrong actions will bite them in the ass. I have this Six of Swords again in reverse as the second card, so that card would go here on this High Priestess. I have a choice. So I have a choice. But if I don't make the right choice, that it's gonna, you can't win for losing. I'm not trying to go towards that, but somehow I end up coming away from it. How did I get here? So I think to a certain extent, in certain situations, women are throwing men for a loop. I think I'm hitting my microphone. In their behavior. I'm just trying to see if I can get more out of that. I am just picking it up as mixed signals. I don't know if we're like when we're dating, if we're like looking for something and so we're interested until we see it's not there and then we appear as fickle. I'm not sure if that's what that means. Maybe sometimes we're available, sometimes we're not, so maybe hot and cold is a possibility here. And we could just be like that and like in our nature, or interested and not interested. I mean, anybody who's male or female could be like that. We're looking at female and male energies, but the person up here that we're talking about right now could be a male. They could just be a male in the female energy, or that female energy is what's speaking for them when they're trying to date, perhaps, depending on, maybe the type of person that they're trying to date or like what's going on. Probably the space they're in right now. Because I see a lot of like not really showing who we are, but I kind of see us not really asking ourselves to either. And I kind of see us knowing that what we're being shown is not correct, but then not asking to be shown what's correct. And we could have a relationship like this. If we decided that somebody was easy on the eyes, we could just move forward with this, especially if they were like our soulmate or something, right? Without ever getting to really know each other. I'm taking this as a little bit too into ourselves, but also like maybe possibly isolated. I kind of got like, it's kind of like when someone snores and then like, so they end up in like a different room, but then we don't do anything to really make up for that like absence or that like, so we kind of start like drifting apart. Again, we're drifting apart, but we're still together because, yeah. And if we're dating after we experience something like this, we might be comparing people to other people. Kind of picking this up as comparing people to other people. Now this Page of Pentacles, this extra Page of Pentacles here is coming off like a cycle. That we could do this again and again. So So now I'm getting that all those videos that I was seeing about all these people like talking about how, you know, if women do this, they're this and this and all this stuff. I dropped a card that we already pulled. It's their frustration talking. Okay, so that's the Two of Pentacles on top of the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, again, this is one of those allegedly for entertainment purposes only, don't shoot the messenger. This is us taking what we expect. And then this is us feeling like we're being drained of, like we're just here to provide. It's not just this. It's not just money. This is other stuff too. So this is us expecting to get it. And then this is us being like, damn, I gave it to you like 10 times. And then this is the choice to, at first I was going to say not do that. Then I was going to say to have it go like 10 different ways. I mean, if we let's say we stay home with the kids and they're the ones that work. So we do take money because we can't earn money because we're home with the kids. But I think the idea is that we're supposed to give something in return. Again, this equal give and take, this balance, right? We have a choice to give or to not give. So then we have this Five of Pentacles in reverse with this Ace of Swords. So this Five of Pentacles is coming off like a tactic, like a freezing out tactic. I suppose it's not just a freezing out tactic. I suppose it's like a representation of perhaps all tactics. And I know that it's on the female side, and then there's this Ace of Swords here, like truth. But to a certain extent, we all know that men and women both do this. I think when they do that particular act of like not talking to someone and being cold, and I do believe they're in their negative female energies. So I think that's why it's showing up here and it's showing up here sort of in reverse, because when it's upright, it's kind of like chilly or out in the cold, but it's in reverse. But like I said, that energy could be reversed. The male could have it, or, you know, maybe even both. If you give this to me and maybe I feel like I didn't deserve it, I might give it back to you. So there's that, right? And then we have this Tower, and I was holding it in reverse, but it's upright. It doesn't really matter because it's in reverse over here, which is the, you know, kind of like that symbolism of it. It can go on and on like this, which it can, because we have this. This is coming off, like I said, as cycles. We can run this if we want a bunch of times. But this Tower upright kind of tells me, and again, this isn't just like the freezing out. This is coming off as like tactics. That these tactics are what ruined the relationship. And like I said, if we're dating and we're coming from this place, you know, because I feel like if we're shooting videos because our dating isn't successful, then how do we know all this shit about the opposite sex? How do we know all this stuff about these people that we're not dating if we haven't dated before? So we had to have dated before, and we had to have taken whatever idealizing we wanted to bring from that into this, and then we wanted to judge people we haven't dated yet. This is what it looked like to me when I was watching these videos. This is why I was watching, I was like, what is the point of this? You're telling me that I'm this way, but I'm not. You're telling me that's not why you're dating. You know, maybe everybody should spend a little bit of time alone, you know, not in a relationship. I have. I'll tell you, you can really find some stuff out about yourself too when you stop chasing somebody else's tail around. But anyway, we're talking about dating, so let's keep going. Sorry. I don't usually film this late. It's kind of late. It's been a while since I filmed at night, but it's late. But I kind of wanted to do this like during dating hours. I figured it'll come up. We'll see what's going on, right? But I will tell you that kind of what I did expect and what is sort of happening is that there is this sort of like banter on the table, and it's almost borderline like a fight, like this is upside down, but this is also the extra card. It's almost like it's like waiting in their wings, like this 3 of Swords in reverse and the 7 of Wands in reverse. The fallout and the pain from if we choose wrong in our dating, I was going to call it atmosphere. Right? Again, the fear of the consequences of acting wrong or being deer in the headlights over here because of someone being, let's call it chained to somebody's emotions. And I don't think to a certain extent anybody's really chained to anybody's emotions, but you could be in the sense of if you're looking for approval or if you want to make sure, they're not condemning you or there's a lot of reasons why you could be paying that much attention to someone else, right? And then we have this Page of Wands in reverse with this, the Fool. And this Page of Wands in reverse, we had like freezing out and taking stuff. Being something you're not. Or not being something you're not. It's more of showing a side of yourself that you don't intend to follow through with. And I'm not necessarily picking it up in like a sinister way. I'm just picking it up, like I said, like you used to wear makeup and now you don't, or, something to where you were only wearing makeup because I was taking you out. And I was going to mention earlier, and I don't know if I did, but if I might have stopped wearing makeup because you stopped taking me out. You guys know this. You men know this. You need to understand it's not just all on us too. If you want us to get all dressed up, there's plenty of women who think Starbucks is fine, and it is, especially for early, in these human trafficking days. You might as well freaking meet somebody in a public spot, and anywhere is fine. But again, if you do meet somebody at Starbucks, don't expect them to be all dolled up. Don't expect them, have it be normal. Just have it be natural. I've talked about it before on this channel about how dating should be natural. So again, the expectations, not so much. If you expect stuff, you might want to work some stuff out before you ever take that person on a date, because some of the comments and the things that people say after they try to go on dates and then they kind of like, I was going to say mash up. Like, I don't know if that's what I meant to, exactly portray, but it is sort of like sometimes they don't even follow through with the date and they're mad at each other, and it's like, okay, well, that's a good indication of how the relationship was going to go if we wanted to overlook stuff. Like, why can't people just go have coffee without people blowing up, right? I feel like that answer wouldn't be on the table necessarily. And we could pull cards till the end of time and just come up with reasons why people have grievances with other people. But I think to a certain extent, we're going to need more tolerance. So we got this Knight of Pentacles upright. He actually goes right here. Oh. I think this is like the attention that women want from men. I don't think they mind doing it. I think they just don't want to be, I was going to say laughed at. I don't know if laughed at is the right words. But I did pick up how humiliating it might be to like take a girl on a date and like have her whip out like her phone and start live streaming about how cheap I am or whatever. So I don't know if that's what that is. I suspect it could be a few things. Again, everybody has to remember that when we're going on a date, there should be feelings involved. Some of the stuff that I've seen, it either has to be fake or ridiculous, because you don't go out on a date and then like subjugate someone, or you don't, torture them, or you don't treat them like garbage and make them, run circles around you and open doors. Like it's again, it's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be mutual, right? You have a choice to not do that over here. And you'd be blown away if like, as speaking strictly to women right now, you'd be blown away if like an Arabian prince asked you, you know, if, you know, whatever, and then proceeded to want you to open all the doors for them, right? You'd be like, am I in the friggin' Twilight Zone? Like, what's going on? And if they were like adamant about it to the point where you had to open a door so that the night could continue, you might be done with that before it starts, right? Nobody wants to be treated like that. And I'm not saying that you do or they do. That door opening thing can be applied to anything that any woman does to a man or any man does to a woman, or any situation, in any situation. It doesn't have to be about dating. But the reason why we're bringing it up here, and the reason why we're talking about dating, and the reason why I'm making so much of a big deal about it, is because you guys need to understand that if you've accepted the date, you've asked for the date, somebody's accepted the date, there's supposed to be feelings involved. So again, like on a first date, you don't tear somebody up because they took you in the wrong place. There's no feelings involved. Either you have no feelings, or when you went out on a date with somebody that you didn't have any feelings for. I don't believe that really counts in the world of dating. People should stop throwing that into dating, because if you're just going out to dinner with people to have sex with them, that I don't really consider that dating. I consider that sex. And then you shouldn't bash dating when sex doesn't work out right. Sorry, but needed to throw that out there. We got this Queen of Wands upright on top of this King of Wands in reverse on top of the Sun. The Sun was coming off to me like what women wanted, like to be happy. And this King of Wands was coming off to me, again, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, was coming off to me like men were complaining that they had to bend themselves into a pretzel in order to make the woman happy. And, I feel like this Queen of Wands is kind of like saying, hey, stupid, you know I'm your match, right? I got more extra cards in my hand. I got the Devil in reverse again. I've got the Two of Swords upright. I've got the Chariot, Temperance in reverse. I feel like that's a big, like a one big message, and I'm trying to put it together. And my cat's going nuts on her cat tree, which is like, she hasn't done that in a while, so it's weird. And it's making me feel like, to a certain extent, again, some of the energy in dating is missing. The creativity, the fun of it, the having emotions for another, the excitement of spending time with that person. Again, it was never about where we were going or what we were doing. It was about being with the other person. If it's not, maybe you chose the wrong person to go out with. It's about, deciding if you want to spend time with someone else. In order to do that, you have to spend time with someone else before you actually start giving them a hard time. Where's Temperance in reverse? It's over here somewhere. Here. But again, when you go into a situation with your emotion, you don't necessarily give them a hard time right away. So if you are, you might already be presenting to yourself as a bad date. And if there's these bad dates are piling up on people, I could see why they would get frustrated. Because people, I feel like, used to try harder. Men used to try harder and women used to try harder. Right? When no one's trying, it kind of looks, I feel like, this. But again, like I said, don't get it twisted. Don't take dating and wrap it all up with all this other kinds of weirdness that people like to do now. Because for some reason, everything seems better than connecting. Right? Everything. It's normal. The problem that I had with it was a few things that I did here was if a woman appears to be wholesome, Like one of them, I think, was if she talks about God or says she's, not engaging in physical, relations until they have till someone commits, and these things. And people were saying, oh, well, I forgot the term, and I'd never even figured out what it meant. There's a new term for a woman who does that and what it means, and it's supposed to be bad. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow. I'm like, so if someone wants, because I've seen the videos where the men talk about how they want a God-fearing woman, or a woman that doesn't have a Jezebel spirit and all this stuff, right? But then it seems to me like when you do have one, you don't think you do, because she's not allowed to talk about God, and she's not allowed to refrain from sex. She's a 416 or whatever the heck they were calling it. I don't remember. But you know what? It was stupid. And I thought, no wonder they're having so much trouble dating. They got their fucking panties in a bunch and they're all twisted. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Dating was just supposed to be dating. It was just supposed to be dating. I like you, I don't like you. I ask you out again, I don't ask you out again. It wasn't supposed to be, let me wait 5 days to text her. Remember back before they had cell phones? And you called and their parents answered? That was before people played games with each other's emotions when they were dating. Remember those days? If you don't, then that's part of the problem. Don't put it on other people because you're having a hard time navigating through this. You might want to look at yourself. If you think that everyone is like that and you feel comfortable speaking for all women. And if you do, then I'm going to worry about your intelligence. I would understand why you haven't met anyone. Because you don't see people. I promise you. There are women out there who don't want to have sex because of the BS that's out there. If they tell you they don't want to have sex, they probably don't want to have sex. Don't judge them. Act like they're pretending this and that and the other. You just passed up a good woman if you're wrong. This is what we're talking about. And we've also talked about in other videos how people want a good woman, but they don't want to be a good man. Again. It's not going to fly. This is 7 of Wands. Again. In reverse. And you know what that's coming up as? Because 7 of Wands to me would be like a struggle. Like 7 of Wands upright. This is more of like a incompatibility that just, yeah, this is Queen of Wands again. That just hangs around. To the point where, yeah, some people do get sour. Maybe they do pick up that karmic energy. We've got it. This King of Wands in reverse. And that, there's another card. It's, that Queen of Wands was coming. Oh, well, so was this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this extra card. Usually the in reverse cards come off like that, but then sometimes the Queen of Wands upright comes off like that. The first Queen of Wands didn't come up like upright, didn't come off like that, but it did come off as the match to the King of Wands, which was in reverse. But I think that's kind of like what I'm saying too. Like in some cases, like where somebody's being judged and the other person can see where they're a perfect match. Where they're absolute perfect match. This 5 of Swords keeps coming out. And then there's the 6 of Swords again. And there's a bunch more cards that came out. We're not going to pull any more cards. Because I think to a certain extent, some of the energy here is not about dating. It's about hurting the other person. So we've got the 10 of Wands. We have this 9 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Empress. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse. We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse and the Magician. These cards, all these cards right here are telling me that when you go to date, don't bring all this crap with you. If you go and you ask somebody out and you go to take them to Starbucks and they flip their camera on and they talk about what an awful person you are because you took them to Starbucks, let that roll off your back, and then if you want to take somebody to Starbucks, do it again. I'm not joking. I think part of the problem here is that there's a loss of confidence. And if we do have confidence, we have confidence in the wrong things. And people wanting power plays, which again is not dating. Don't mix that with dating. The next time you go out there and you want to form an opinion about dating, when you go out there, I want you to evaluate what it is that you're doing, and is it considered to be dating? Because again, if you're meeting your friends at the club and going home with the wrong woman, that doesn't count. Dating requires you to pick someone ahead of time, for starters. And then decide to go somewhere with them. I'm not necessarily saying you have to leave the house. I'm just saying there has to be a plan. Even if you were married to somebody and you were going to go on a date, you would have a plan, right? Talking about effort. I'm talking about possibly having to put something on that you would not normally wear, right? And treat someone a little better than you would, say, like if you were hanging out with your homies. Pay attention. Because if people who aren't quality keep trying to match up with people who are quality, then this could be part of the problem. And if the people who are quality can't spot these people before they go out on a date with them, then that could be part of the problem. But dating is not the problem. Women are not the problem, and men are not the problem. Everybody wants the same things. To a certain extent, right? But even if you didn't want what most people wanted, you'd find somebody who wanted what you wanted, right? There'd be somebody. It's not, again, that hard. If it is, you're doing it wrong. So I would submit to you, if you're one of those people who stopped dating because you have this like blanket belief system about the opposite sex, I would say that you might want to consider trying to find someone in the opposite sex that you admire, or someone in the opposite sex who like impresses you. They do something that's impressive, or something that you kind of go, wow, I couldn't do that. How do they do that? You know, something to where, again, like I said, you could bring yourself to admire them, so that you can kind of show yourself that there are people out there who are admirable. And then it might be a possibility that when you go to move towards someone, you might want to move towards someone who's admirable, or whoever has that quality that you want. Again, you might be looking at the wrong thing if you're dissatisfied on that first date. Or if you're so dissatisfied on the third date, or you know, whatever we're talking about here. People should be talking before they go out, at least a little bit. They should get to know them at least a little bit, right? Definitely before we get into intimate relationships where we got to drag all this stuff with us and then be mad at somebody. We could get to know them, right? That wouldn't be terrible. Again, if it's not working out for you, if dating's not working out for you, and I'm not saying it's not your fault, because I get what we're against here. I get it. I see it. Consider the way you're doing it. Just consider the way you're doing it, whatever that means. And then go from there. Because you can change your experience. Even if everybody was coming at you and they were all lousy, you could change your experience, and you could get to the point where you could get that one person to come to you. If that's not what's going on, then there's something inside of you that's matching with these people that you don't seem to like. So there might be something inside of you that you don't like, or you might not know how to pick them. Either way, again, like I said, take a look at how you're doing it and see See what, especially if you always end up with the same result, see what you're doing and see if you can change it. See if you can, let's put it this way. If you're going to date, if you want to date, instead of bashing dating or bashing men or bashing women, if you want to date, work on making that experience more pleasant. Like I said, keep dating. Do the thing again. If somebody criticized you, do the thing again. There's somebody out there who likes that. Do it again. Do what you want to do in a date. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy. So you just do that. You find somebody who wants to do it with you. Like I said, easy. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be natural. It's supposed to be enjoyable. If you can change that dating experience, however you can do that, and you can look at that situation differently, the situation will change. Keep that in mind. Until we meet again.